Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to My Spouse is My Best Friend. I'm your co-host, Nicole.
I'm Dr. Jason Green.
And today we're going to talk about, does your marriage feel like the safest friendship that you have in your life? So recently, my husband and I were at the doctor's or the hospital, and one question that they ask you as they're checking you in is, do you feel safe at home?
In front of your wife. Like you're going to say, well, she's the one meeting you at home.
Yeah, I mean, I typically say no, and I make you say no, right?
Yes.
But it did make me think, this question goes beyond the exam room, right? What if it shows up in your everyday life of feeling safe in your home, feeling safe with your spouse, feeling safe in your friendship with your spouse? And so that's what we want to talk about today is what if your marriage didn't feel romantic? What if you just wasn't feeling it today, right? What if you're tired, your spouse is getting on your nerves? How do you keep going? How do you keep going through those I don't feel like it moments, right?
Right.
Yes. And so again, it's not about perfection. It's not about being perfect. It's just about being safe, honest in your marriage.
Yeah, if you want a place to exhale and a place to relax. I mean, I know we talk about it all the time about how we all go off to work, or some of us anyways, but go off to our different rooms if we work at home from work. Yeah, that.
Work from home. Yep.
Work from home.
Yep.
But you want a place to be able to come home and to exhale, and a place where you can fully be without, judgment or fearful of, what people are talking about, a place that feels like home emotionally, not just physically, but just emotionally, just a place that you can relax. And that's created at home with your spouse. So is that safe space at home with your friend, with your best friend? Do you come home to chaos? You come home to arguments? Do you come home to bickering? Or do you come home for peace and be able to tell your wife about your day? And that goes both ways because you have to create that for your spouse as well, right? And today we want to talk about what that looks like to build a marriage that actually feels like the safest friendship. We have plenty of friendships, right? We might have 2, 3, 4, 5. Some people don't have any friends, but their best friend is their spouse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But how do you make your spouse your safest friendship?
Yeah. So first, let's identify the problem, and then we'll talk a little bit about how to get out of that rut. We'll talk about 3 shifts that'll help you build it, because we want you guys to be happy. We want you to be happy when you walk into the door. We don't want you to be, stop and have a couple of drinks at the local Applebee's before you go to that spouse of yours,
or sit in your car for 15 minutes listening to praise music before you go in the house. But go ahead.
So what most couples experience is they share a home, but there's no emotional safety, right? And so it's like we're zombies. We're just walking around here doing the same thing every day. There's no emotional connection to our spouse. We're not connecting with them. We might be connecting with them on a physical level, and that's because we just trying to do our duty, but there's not an emotional connection there.
Yeah, and the emotional connection comes from, well, when I think of emotional safety, it's when, hey, I can come home, even if I come back from a day, just a day, that emotionally I can come home and expect peace.
Mm-hmm.
It might not even be joy, but at least just peace, and be able to relax and be around my spouse and not have to go from one war to another.
Yeah. Yeah. And so again, but when I come home, that's all you want to talk about is the kids, the bills, the blah, the blah,
all the transactional stuff. Kids, bills, schedules.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so you know that your spouse loves you and you love your spouse, but you don't have that emotional safety that I can be honest and vulnerable with you. So let's talk about what that looks like. And so the vision of what a safe friendship looks like is you can fully understand your spouse or fully talk to your spouse without fear of judgment. Like I can say whatever I want to say to you, and knowing that if it's something like if it's a critique, then it's coming from a place of love. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally agree. Just imagine if you had a relationship where you can tell anybody anything. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people don't even have that even outside of their relationship or outside of their marriages. But it's one thing that I love about our marriage is that I feel free to say anything that I want to without judgment, without, knowing that it's going to be getting an argument, but knowing that my better half will take a beat, listen actively, and maybe, give me advice, or we just talk it through or whatever. But I don't have to hold anything back. I mean, it just feels great to be able to just have that safe person that you can talk. I mean, I have a wart on my bottom, or I have something, whatever it may be. I can tell them anything without judgment.
Can I see the wart?
No, you can't see my wart.
Oh, okay.
You've seen the wart.
Oh, okay.
I don't have no wart, y'all.
Can I see it? But again, conflict doesn't threaten a connection. It's communication, right? And silence isn't awkward. It's comfortable. So again, if you're going through those I don't know what to say moments, sometimes it's okay to have that silence just to gather your thoughts. Even if you're a writer, write them down, write down what you're thinking, journaling, and then come back together and let's talk about it.
Yeah. So how do we shift to build it?
Yeah. And so one thing is to replace reaction with curiosity. I love that one. Asking questions. We ask each other questions all the time. Why would you do that? Or is there something that I could do to help? Just asking questions. Oh, you feel that way. Why do you think you feel that way? Is there something that I could help you feel another, towards a positive way?
Mm-hmm. And, you want to protect the small moments of connection, right? I mean, be able to be, we always talk about wind down Wednesdays. We always talk about check-ins. You always want to know how your spouse is emotionally feeling, right?
Yeah.
To let them know that you are there and open for them. So they do have that, you keep that connection as far as, hey, you can come to me for anything and I'm here for you.
Right.
Right. In that moment. Try to touch me before talking, or while you're talking, rub on our booty a little bit. Genie might come up. But anyways.
He always got to touch me.
Or laughing together intentionally. Or just, just make it, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I gotta say. Do it. Just do it. That's like you would say.
Yep. And don't say always. Don't say you always do this and you always do that. Just listen, sometimes. Or use your I statements. Again, that's really important. Use your I statements on how you feel.
And when you want to protect that connection, the main way to protect that connection, and when we talk about connection, we're talking about your wife, your husband, and God.
Yep.
You have to pray together. You have to pray together. It's good to pray individually and go off to your own spaces or whatnot, but you have to come into agreement. And praying over the principle of your marriage is very important. And praying over the things that are binding you, so you break those bondages and whatnot, and agree upon those, and pray together, and go through the battle together, and know that y'all are in this thing together. Mm-hmm. So pray together. I just want to emphasize that. Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be a long prayer. Remember, prayer is communicating with God. So when the two of you communicate with God, that's really important. So whether if it's in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, just pick a time. It doesn't have to be the same time every day, unless you're, one of those people that have to do stuff at the same time every day. But your spouse. So pick a time to pray. Pick a day a week. Again, have those connections. So it's so funny because people always say, "You guys don't argue, do you?" And like, no, because that's what we have our now we have disagreements, but we have our wind down Wednesdays. We have our 5 to 10 minute daily check-ins just to make sure that the other person's okay. And if not, then we're stopping. We're talking about, what's going on. We're using our I statements. Again, we're trying to create that safety of our friendship. So we're trying to protect our friendship in our marriage.
Yep, because love will take you only so far. Mm-hmm. Sex will only take you so far. Children will only take you so far because they leave.
They do.
And then hopefully, in the end, it's only you and her. Mm-hmm. And you got to have something to bounce back on, right? You got to have, you want to be around that person. You got to like that person. You got to want to laugh with that person. Mm-hmm. If that's gone, you find yourself looking at each other like, what were we doing for the past 25 years, or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. And, we talk about, my surprise is when I hear about couples that have been together for 30 years.
I was going to say the same
right?
thing. Yep.
And they have kids, and when now kids leave, they're stuck there together, and like 3 years later, they're divorced. They're like, you were together for 30 years. You forgot who you were in your marriage. You forgot your friendship. I mean, I don't know you no more.
Being intentional.
And being intentional helps that. And that's what we're talking about, create that safe space. So, y'all keep that connection. And like I said, pray together. Do things together. When like me and her would get up every morning and walk in the morning to make sure that we are intentional and being together in the morning. When we first wake up, we come back to the house, we pray.
Yep.
In front of our house, people might think we're crazy because we're sitting there holding hands like this. They're like, what are we doing? But anyways, we make that point to do the work, right? And marriage is work.
It's work. And being intentional is very important.
So
laugh together, play together, have fun together. Like you said, the kids won't be there. So they can't be your common bond because they leave. Then you're looking at each other like, who are you? Yep. You can't lose your spouse in the crowd anymore.
Exactly. So, the safest friendship in a marriage reflects God's design, right? Where love is patient, love is kind, and love is true. Right?
You just do that in there.
Yeah. Okay. That's straight from Green 3 and 2.
You silly. That's why I know it's time to go.
All right. I think we talked this one through.
Yeah. So thank you for hanging out with us today. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our website, www.myspousemybestfriend. If you need some coaching advice, hit us up. We'll be more than happy to talk to you. We have 15-minute free consultation. So take advantage of that. Otherwise, we will see you great people next week.
Bye. Safety first.